What is going on, everyone? Welcome to today's aftermarket trade recap. Just gonna jump into it here. We had 2 wins on the day, and then there was setups that could have been taken if I was on the charts at the time, and I just want to go over them because they're actually pretty good. Price action was very good this PM session. So yeah, getting into it, I was not on in the AM session, got on literally right before PM session. Went on the 15-minute time frame, and let me just go over this real quick, and I forgot to do this yesterday. So really quick here though, we had accumulation, took out the accumulation SMT, 1 minute inversion, internal low set to break even there, very close to taking out the low for 40 points, about a 1 to 6, didn't get the low, ended up reversing, stopped at break even. It was on demo, so yeah, just pointing that out. Pretty good setup. Sucks that we couldn't take the low, but yeah, that was that. So getting back in today though, again on the 15-minute, saw that the bias is lower, dropped down to the smaller time frame, and then as soon as I dropped down to the smaller time frame, saw in versus 1 minute. Now there was conviction that I missed on this, that at the time, if I wanted to take it, technically this could be an entry. We have an SMT. It's really not a bad setup to take this and then just take out this low. But the fact that we're 2 minutes away from 1 p.m., I'm obviously going to wait. That's going to give me even better conviction. So that's exactly what I did. Waited till 1 p.m. And as soon as we had entered into the inversion fair value gap, I had entered, got filled here. Was in a little bit of drawdown, and then again I don't actually remember if I mentioned this yet. These were super strong draws on liquidity. It's funny because today I was just going over the 2024 mentorship, and he was talking about this is like his wording, smooth area or whatever, just having 2 significant lows. It's a very strong draw, which again I've seen plenty of times in the past, but I just knew those were very strong draw on liquidities. But I'm obviously going to take profit where take profit should be taken, so I just had it set at this low, as with only 1 contract and no runners. That's the smart thing to do. So yeah, it was like a 3-minute trade. Take profit ended up getting taken, and then it's not like I had knew at this point this was going to be like a turtle soup. This was I had drawn out later. But again, this is just where my take profit was. Now, once we had came up, let me mention real quick too. This I had taken was actually supposed to be on the combine. I had just started a new combine today, 50K. It was supposed to be, but I was on my phone and I was trying to rush to take this before it was too late. And not only did I end up taking it on ES, so thankfully that these are correlated pairs, or somewhat correlated pairs, but I also took it on the demo version of the combine. So that was unfortunate when I had realized that. But the good thing is once we had left this high and came down and didn't take this internal low out yet, this is where I knew this is going to be soup. I had very strong conviction this is going to be a turtle soup. And this is where the draw is gonna be. So yeah, once we had crossed over, I had entered in for 1 contract. It would be nice to have 2, although 1 I shouldn't because of the account size and what the buffer is at. It's a fresh new account. 2, it's not necessarily my model, although the conviction is super strong, and I have sort of messed around with taking these soup entries. Still not my model, so I have to be focused on risk. So yeah, entered in for 1 contract, got filled right above the turtle soup entry, was a couple points in drawdown, and then within the next 3 minutes, again, just smacked the take profit. I had, again, this was my original take profit, then I had moved it, saw, it'd be nice to have a 60-point take profit, but I'm obviously going to play it safe, although, again, like I mentioned, these are both very strong draws on liquidity. And if there's a significant low under it in a quote-unquote smooth area, that the lower low is going to be taken out. But still, there's been times in the past where I've seen it not. It's not guaranteed, so you have to take profit by what the book says. And obviously, I'm going to take off here. Did forget to mention too, at this internal low, I did have my stop set to break even. So let me put that there real quick. So yeah, break even here. But again, we ended up smacking TP, and then end up coming lower and taking out this low. Now, this is where I had obviously got off. I do know that there is entries between 1 to 2. I don't really care to look for it though, as I just want to wait for time and price to line, which is going to be after 1 p.m. open. It's going to be that 2 p.m. open. So yeah, but there was actually some pretty good entries here. So looking at the 2 minute, again, we've just taken out these draws, and you know, price kind of needs to rebalance higher. So there was this 2 p.m. inversion here. Could have had stop set at either literally the wick, at the bottom of the wick, or just to have a little bit tighter at this candle, the body low of the candle. And then this was a 3 minute inefficiency right here. That could have been a break-even point, or, you know, playing it safe with one contract could have been a take profit. But again, this is like the internal low, so this necessarily should be the break-even. And then this, what ended up turning into these equal highs was the 5 minute, which is where the actual take profit should be, which would have been a nice 1 to 2. And then, yeah, it played out perfectly. It was literally like smacked it within 2 minutes, or at least I think it did. I don't know if I would have gotten filled necessarily, because this left 3 sets of equal highs. But after this third set, if, you know, I didn't get automatically filled, definitely would have taken it off. And if somehow I did take this and did not get filled and did not take it off, that would have been pretty devastating, because it literally would have came back down and taken out break even to the tick on both times before running out higher, as it should, taking out these equal lows, which then would have been another, you know, similar soup entry in a sense, taking out these equal highs. Didn't get a close above, except also you have this 1 minute inversion here, which would have been a good entry for, and then stop above at this high would have been a little too high. Same thing, using the body of this candle, which is now technically, or which is above this candle's high, and it just, that's how I use it. I believe it's a very good system wave. You can't use the high, and then again, just straight smacking down for what we had over here, which was this 1 hour inefficiency, for a nice 1 to 4, 72 points. Not even a single green candle within that move down. So yeah, that would have been very nice. So yeah, again, just so we don't get lost here, one demo, which, you know, should have been a regular combine trade, combine trade, 2 hypothetical or back testing entries or whatever, and then this was on actual demo. I do want to go over this because I think it's good to go over. Had 2 inefficiencies above, and wanted to see a 2 p.m. open, low, high close to possibly reach back to these inefficiencies. Now, would I have taken this on a combine or a live account, even, like say this was my first trade of the day? No, but on demo, I'm obviously going to try it out. Reasons being is just because the bias is so much lower. You know, we've gone to all these draws lower, and again, just the bias on the day is lower. Now, and these inefficiencies aren't super high, like liquidity grabs, and yeah, it's really just the 2 p.m. open, low, high close, which if I'm going to take entries off of, which I have in the past, it's kind of got to be like this situation here with these lows. It's the draw has to be very strong for me. It just has to be a strong conviction on that liquidity, and you know, inefficiencies aren't super strong. It's like they're good targets, but unless I have other things to back up my conviction, they're not that. It's not just that strong off an open, low high close to reach these inefficiencies, especially when the bias is just lower. And yeah, I mean, we were in a little bit of profit. Again, this was on demo. Was gonna have a break even set to here. Now it's not really like, you know, a internal high, but it's just because of the volume imbalance, the wick volume imbalance or whatever is so high. You know, sometimes that high doesn't have to be taken out. It can literally come within the volume imbalance and not have to take out the high with how big it is. So, but we didn't even get the break even, and then ended up getting stopped. Again, it was worth a shot on demo, but was it necessarily a good trade? No, not really. It's missing convictions to actually qualify it to be good, and unless, like I said, the draw was super clear, then you wouldn't need it. But going higher today was not the draw. The draw today has been lower. So yeah, that's pretty much it for today. I hope to get back into some AM sessions here soon, but I honestly have been liking the PM sessions. Just watching price action, especially in today's PM, was very good. And the one thing I do want to just go over as like a self thing for me, I like how I've really been able to understand price in a quote unquote algorithmic standpoint. Jeez, I can't say it. Now whether that's like, you know, the whole algorithmic of price and stuff, I'm not gonna get into that. What I will say though is it does work, as in looking at it in that standpoint of just being able to recognize, you know, like soups of low, soups of high, and just really understanding price and where it wants to go. Now again, being able to master it with your entries, your stop loss, your take profits, which is, you know, not like I'm saying I'm bad at, but to be able to master it, to be, you know, completely, fully profitable is another thing. But the fact of being able to now, after trading ICT concepts for over a year now, to really understand price, the draws, and especially when it comes to these internals. Now, after a while, when I first started, yeah, I could understand, you know, external draws like these, for example, although I'm not saying it was 100%, and I'm not saying I'm 100% now, but it's a lot better back then. But it was really trying to understand internal highs and lows and where price wants to go in the internal standpoint. It's really improved. Back then I would not be able to understand this, whereas now being able to just recognize it and see it day in and day out, like it's something that's why I say, like, whether you want to believe the algo or whatever, it does work in the sense that just looking at it in that standpoint of the lows and the highs. So I'm just glad I'm starting to be able to really see that and recognize those internal standpoints. And then, again, the fact that it's gotten better on the external standpoint as well. But yeah, just I've noticed that I've really been able to understand price now. But again, it's a whole different thing as well, with not only being able to really understand the draw, but having those good entries and those good stop placements and those take profits. That's really what is going to also, you know, lead to consistent profitability, is really those entries and stuff on top of it. So, but yeah, again, like I said, just glad I've been able to really recognize price. Again, it's been over a year now of doing ICT. So yeah, kind of a longer video, but that's what I wanted to get out for today. And then, yeah, again, hopefully I can get into some more AM sessions, but that is it for today, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.